Are we both recording?
We're both
All
recording.
right, you seizure bitch. Let's talk about you little, you little,
I thought you said
you little dork.
I thought you said you were going to bring it up subtly,
I said organically.
organically.
That was organic.
That was very organic.
Yeah. So what happened to you? Long story short, you're a bitch.
Yeah, I had a full-on tonic-clonic seizure.
Tonic-clonic seizure. It's a shame that they named the medical term that because it would have been such a cool drink.
Yeah, that is such a weird-ass
Like, can't you picture a girl sitting at brunch with all her friends?
tonic-clonic.
And she's like, "Can I get a tonic-clonic?" And the waiter's like,
Why is it called that?
"Yeah, I don't know. Maybe do you think the doctors that like named it? They were like
It's another name for grand mal seizures.
Grand Mal?
Is it mall? I'm pretty sure it's mall, but it's not like grandma. Like, not like an old grandma.
Grand Mal seizures.
I'm pretty sure it doesn't have an L.
That sounds like a Puerto Rican resort. You and 3 of your closest friends went an all expense paid vacation to Grand
It
Mal
does.
seizures.
Yeah.
Like that.
What's weird is, just to give you a short little rundown.
So you fell asleep.
So, like, I fell asleep.
Right. Did you do any weird sex stuff right before that?
No. I did stay up late because I had to go back out for work. I did something for work and came back at like 2.
Ooh.
And woke up at
late.
I didn't wake up. So it's weird.
You woke up.
So from my perspective, I woke up in an ambulance.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, it's such a weird feeling. I don't know how to describe it. I don't know if you've ever been in this. I don't know if this is only seizure people, but like, I remember like faint memories of like me in the ambulance going like they restrained me because I was combative.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was just like, come on, guys. I remember I remember pleading them. I remember going like, please just let me out of this. Please just let me out of this. Like, I remember that.
Yeah.
But it was very, like, it felt like a dream. Like, it literally, I don't remember ever, like, thinking, oh, I need to, like, be awake.
Yeah.
Until I got in the hospital room and a doctor was asking me something. And I remember answering and I was like, oh, my God, I'm awake.
Yeah, Marley said you shot a firefighter. What's up with that?
I did not
Marley,
do that.
Well, she told me, she called me.
I did not do that.
Can I talk? Can I finish my story?
You can, yeah.
Okay, so Marley calls me. I'm at work.
Right.
She goes,
this is your perspective.
Well, this is the truth.
Right, okay.
I'm not laughing.
Okay.
Firefighters have done nothing wrong to us.
Okay, right.
Cop, if you shot a cop, maybe it evens out.
All right. Agreed.
Firefighters?
Agreed.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
So what Marley
This is my
said,
first time hearing this.
Yeah, what Marley said happened. She called me and she said, "Are you home?" And I said, "No." And immediately, as soon as I saw her name pop up on my phone and she was like, "Hey, are you home?" I was like, "Listen, Braden's my best friend." I was like, "This can't happen." I was like, I know that I have this, I would call it panther-like attractiveness. Like I'm like, if you see me from the side, I have this long. Why are you laughing? Can I talk?
Why are you giving a side angle to the camera?
Because if you look at me from the side, I have this long, low, sleek panther.
Maybe use a different
Put
word.
a picture of a panther right there.
No.
And then
I wouldn't use the word sleek.
I have this like long, like a very. Anyway, I have a very toned.
Keep going.
I have a cat-like body.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Marley calls me and she was like, "Are you home?" And I was like, "No." Blah 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 blah. And then she goes, "Braden killed someone." And I went, "Why?"
No.
Can I talk? Why are you not letting me finish my story?
Okay.
So she said that a firefighter knocked on the door. Oh, I'm sorry. She said she woke up. You were running around the house screaming. You think this is funny? We're traumatized.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You're running around the house screaming.
Yeah.
You're holding a baseball bat.
Weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
She said it was wooden. That's a lie. I know it was aluminum. You're not a wooden bat guy.
Oh, I don't.
So you're running around with an aluminum bat.
I don't have an aluminum bat.
Smashing stuff screaming, just screaming, like obscenities, racial slurs, all kinds of stuff. And she's like, I don't know what to do. I said, well, tase him. And she said, I'm not going to do that. And I said, okay, we'll call the cops. And she called the cops, and the firefighter showed up for some reason. And then she said that you took a pistol and put it up against the eye hole of your door, and and then you said, who's there? And then he said, this is fire chief. And then you shot 9 times through the door.
Accusations. False accusations.
Right after I finish that sentence, there's a perfect pause where you have an opportunity to edit, sitting in my position, Liver King going, that was a lie. a perfect opportunity. No, Marley just called me and was like, hey, can you tell Braden's boss that he isn't going to be able to make it to work today? I was like, yeah. I was like, well, what's up? And she was like, he had a seizure, and he's in the hospital. And I said, oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
I'll see you later. And then I hung up.
Yeah. It was weird. I remember,
what was the ER like from a patient's perspective? Because I don't know if I may have mentioned this before, but me and Braden both worked at a very prestigious hospital, very high end, prestigious level 1 trauma center hospital. We can't say the real name, can we? Let's just call it UAB.
Yeah.
And we both worked there for a while. We were techs.
Yeah.
And but how was it from a patient's perspective?
Waking up, I was so out of it. Like I wouldn't even call myself conscious. I was so like, I know it's weird, but I literally, not only that, I woke up, and even as I was still out of it, I've never taken this seizure medication before. And they're like, this is your medication? And I was like, yeah, but I don't take it. And they're like, okay. And they gave it to me. And that was my first time taking it. And so like, I'm already having, like, coming out of my first ever big seizure. I'm just incredibly out of it. And I took that medication that makes you like lightheaded. So I'm just like high the whole time.
Yeah.
And just out of it.
You did say that what did the guy kept asking Marley?
Yeah.
What did they say?
Okay. So from Marley's perspective,
Was this the doctor?
no, this is the officer.
Oh, that's right. This was still
So
your house.
from Marley's, I didn't really get even conscious until I was in the hospital.
Yeah. Yeah.
From Marley's perspective, I woke her up going like this, like or something like that, some seizure noise. Okay, and she woke up, and I was out of the bed on the ground, and she called 911, and I had bitten my tongue because it's like a seizure thing, which that's still so weird. Just such a random, that's such a weird glitch for your body.
That's such like a dumbass thing to do.
Yeah, it's like you didn't punch yourself in the face. You didn't like glitch in any way other than you bit your tongue.
Yeah, you didn't I hear about when people like panic, like they clench their hands so hard that like their fingernails cut their palm. Like nothing like that. You have a seizure and you're like, you're like, fuck. And I keep biting your tongue.
Well, like,
you a dumbass?
Like the ultimate glitch in your body.
Yeah, idiot.
But no, like there was like blood coming out of her mouth from that, and she was like really freaking out. And she called 911, and she said I wasn't breathing, so they told her to start doing compressions. She did like 3 or 4 compressions, and like blood started coming out of my mouth. I started breathing, and they were like, "Okay, stop." But then a cop gets there, and the cop won't stop asking my fiance, won't stop asking Marley, did he do heroin? Be honest with me. Did he do some heroin? If you have any heroin here. Like multiple times asked if I did heroin. And
you said that he asked her like 8 times.
Yeah. Because like there was a lot of stuff going on. And like finally the paramedic was like, hey, this is a seizure. We know this is a seizure.
Yeah.
He's in such and such phase. He's in blank blank phase. Kept telling Marley like he's in this phase. It's fine. He's coming out of this phase. Like they understood all what was happening. And
And then the cop was like, "Where's the fucking fentanyl?"
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally.
Here's my main question about: do cops know anything? Like, I'm not kidding. I've had lots of run-ins with police officers, and I'm not trying to turn this into like a slander podcast or anything. I can count on approximately half of my hand, actually the smaller half of my hand, the amount of times that I've run into a police officer, and he seemed to be intelligent and knowledgeable about what was happening. Almost
I will
any
add
other
on to that.
time.
There's some that are intelligent and knowledgeable. It's being able to be intelligent and have empathy.
I don't even know if it's empathy. Like, they just.
Because there's some that have empathy but are retarded.
Do you remember when? There you go. Do you remember when we worked at said hospital and that police brought in the girl who was like? Now keep in mind, this was like a 6'3" man. Like, he was huge.
Yeah.
Big police officer.
Yeah.
And this girl was like strung out on drugs. She
Yeah.
was like 5'1", 98 pounds, or something like that. And she kept, like, we've restrained a lot of patients.
Yeah.
Like, we've tied down a lot of patients.
Yeah.
Usually when they're like that, they're just like, no, let me go. And they're like jerking or whatever.
Yeah.
She was doing that in the room. And him with the gloves on that had like the hard plastic like knuckle shapes.
Yeah.
He punched her in the face and fractured her orbital bone. And we were all like, hey, huh?
What the hell?
I remember Dr.
Like in front of y'all?
We are all holding her.
Oh my god.
Like, they were holding her arms and he went, "Gah!" and punched her in the face. And we were all like, hey, what's up?
Oh my god.
I just feel like there's so many of them. I've said this before, but the guys who were assholes or bullies in high school grow up to be police officers.
Yeah.
And then the girls who were bitches grow up to be nurses. And then they just get married and make more. They just shit out more of the same thing.
Yeah.
You played football in high school. You were like good.
Yeah.
You were fine.
You're decent.
But the problem is that you were like 6 feet tall. You just didn't have that extra thing
Yeah.
that made it where a college would go, hey, we'll take a look at you.
Yeah.
And college education was not an option. Let's be clear.
Yeah.
It was not an option.
No, not at all.
And so they had two options. They could either go bomb Afghanistan elementary schools.
Right.
Or they could stay in their hometown where they played football and assault people now. Now. That's a solid
That
decision.
sounds like a deal for them.
And that's about it. I've literally run into two cops where I was like, you can have conversations? Like, you can talk?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, the rest of them, they either, like, communicate in, like, weird grunts and, like, noises. And
But there's ones that are like good socially, but they're dumb.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm saying. There's very few that have both. There's very few that are intelligent and empathetic.
Yeah.
They're either really smart and they're like overly intellectual.
Yeah.
And they're like they're robots. They have no empathy.
Yeah, and they're also the size of my wrist.
Yeah.
And so I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah, yeah.
well, you
Yeah.
don't.
And then there's the ones that are like overly empathetic,
Yeah.
but they're brain dead.
Yeah, like I know a cop in the town that we live in. Like, he keeps comic books. He keeps a Green Lantern comic tucked behind his plate vest because he's like, Green Lantern is the police guardian of his space sector, and I'm the police of this area. And I'm like, hey, we're all gonna die. Hey, quick question. We're all dead. Can you imagine? No. Let me play this out. Hang on. No, let me play this out. I don't know if you know this. In every high school, there's a person called a SRO, which is a student resource officer.
Okay.
Which is the police.
Okay.
Can you imagine if you're in high school and there's an active shooter in your building? It's the kid from one of your classes who always wears the long coat. He has the He has the book. He has the book with everyone's names in it.
Right.
And he comes into school with an AK-47.
Right. Right.
Which, being from America, that's not that far-fetched. And your student resource officer looks at you and he goes, hey, hang on. Let me get in the mindset. And he reaches underneath his plate. You're expecting him to pull out a picture of his wife and child, a picture of him and his buddies from his, like infantry division he was in. No. No. He pulls out Green Lantern number 13 and goes, "This is my police sector." I'd be like, "Give me the gun." I'd be like, "Give me the fucking gun. Give me the gun." You put on these civilian clothes.
Down. Please sit down.
You put on my t-shirt. Give me the gun. Give me the gun right now. Yeah.
He pulls it out, then also puts on a ring.
Yeah.
puts
It's on a necklace. And he's like he tears the necklace.
And he just puts it on.
He's like, "In brightest day." And you're like, hang on. You're like, wait, hang on. Can we talk about the dudes that are like overly weird about like me and you are nerds, right? I think it's safe to say.
Yeah, we're nerds.
We're both like dorks, like big time.
But I think we're appropriate nerds.
Yeah, like if we went and looked in my closet right now, there's 2 t-shirts that have a superhero on them.
Yeah.
Of some form.
Yeah.
I was just at the gym. There was a guy wearing, those little wrist things that are like for sweating, like the little sweat things.
Are you sure they weren't like wraps?
No, they weren't wraps. They were for sweating.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyway, they had big Batman logos on them.
Oh,
and I was like, now hang on. What a weird way to tell me that you've never had sex. Because that's just such a strange.
Yeah.
And like the dude, okay, this is a whole different.
It's the unaware nerd.
Yeah. Also, there's a whole,
not self-aware.
There's a next level to it. There's a next level.
For sure. It's when they're aware and they just double down on it.
No. The tattoo superhero guys.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Whoa.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And also that type of nerd isn't actually that knowledgeable.
No.
About whatever they're nerdy about.
No.
They're just like oddly.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. It's a weird anomaly of like.
They just can't stop saying Batman. They're just like Batman.
Yeah.
Batman.
Yeah. Like we both know a guy. I don't know if you know that he has this tattoo, but he has going down his spine a spider, like the Spider-Man spider going all the way down his spine.
Oh no.
And you know him well enough to where if I said his name, you would be like, he doesn't know anything about but it's just that. And he's like, dude, I love those movies. I'm like,
yeah.
Now hang on.
It's like this weird like he's passionate about it, but he just stays here.
Yeah.
Like he's not a nerd, but he's just like, he just puts it on everything.
It's the kind of guy that like you would be like, oh, are you a big Spider-Man fan? I'd be like, yeah, he's a big Spider-Man fan, yeah, sure. And then he'd be like, okay, which version of like the Spider-Man is your favorite? Like, do you like the Scarlet Spider? Do you like Ben?
And then he would start getting mad at you. You'd be like, I don't mess with that.
No, and then he would just go Tobey Maguire, and you'd be like, oh,
yeah,
gotcha,
yeah,
gotcha. Like it'd be like if you asked someone who's the best Robin, and they went, I like the one with with George Clooney.
Yeah,
and they'd be like, the George.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't know that there's books.
Yeah.
Like that guy.
But he has like a Spider-Man tattoo on his wrist.
Yeah, exactly.
And like his car's like wrapped in Spider-Man.
dude, that's another level. It's always a dude who drives a Dodge Charger, and is the weirdest version of this dude. Are you ready for it? And you're gonna
Okay.
love this. The guy who's a little too obsessed with the Joker.
Oh yeah.
That is all the people we've been talking about are right here, right at this level.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen anything more menacing than a Dodge Charger driving past you that says ha 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 all over it? You're driving and you're like ha 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 ha.
It's like these weird, like they see the image of the character at once in their life,
Yeah.
and they just latch onto it.
Yeah.
They don't.
Yeah.
They might not even watch the movies about it.
No.
They might not even do whatever. It's just like that's me now. My
Yeah.
wallpaper is that. I'm putting stickers
Yeah.
on everything. I'm putting and they don't even know the character.
No. But
It's such an odd.
it's so odd to not know a character, but to walk into a vinyl shop and be like, could you wrap that son of a
yeah.
bitch?
Yeah.
To-
Can you ink it on me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like what?
The Joker guy's got to be the
The
weirdest.
Joker
guy.
is Joe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Joker is pretty bad. I don't know. To me, it's almost because Joker. I can kind of see someone relating more to the Joker, somebody being crazy more than some. I don't understand the people that are obsessed with Superman.
Yeah.
Because it's usually somebody that looks nothing like Superman, like that doesn't have any excuse to be like,
Yeah.
oh, I look like I'm like the guy.
Yeah.
It's usually some dude that's just like your average guy, and he's like, I'm Superman.
Also, I'm sorry if I start a conversation with you and I'm like, "Oh, who's your favorite superhero?" and you say Superman, you're 7? You're 7 years old? Like, what do you?
It's the most. It's like when I don't even
That's
know.
like, can you imagine asking like walking up to some like buddy and being like, "Hey, what's your favorite color?" and they go, "Blue."
Yeah.
Well, you 9? You 9 years old?
Or like what's your go-to meal? And they go a cheeseburger.
Chicken fingers. Chicken fingers. What do you dip it in? Ketchup. They haven't even learned that honey mustard is a thing yet. They're just like ketchup. It's like the kid in after school that eats the pizza from the crust. You know that kid?
Yeah.
That kid.
But the thing is, they're grown up, and they're
Yeah,
still like.
That's the thing. They're 19.
Yeah,
They're
and
25.
and Superman's like all over their shit.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, if I'm ever somewhere and I see a dude and on the back of his phone case is the Superman logo, I'm like,
That's
we
what
got
I'm
a
saying.
problem.
That's what I'm
like,
saying.
we got a big problem.
Like, what is that?
You know what's weird is that Superman is such a symbol of like truth, justice, and virtue. And yet I see it on the back of his phone and I'm like, I don't trust you.
Yeah, because you unironically putting that on your phone case,
Yeah.
you think that you're like
Yeah.
you're like your truth.
Like, that's a problem.
It's a big problem.
Yeah, in a weird way, the Superman guy is worse than the Joker
That's
guy.
what I'm saying. Because the Joker's almost like I'm self-aware enough to know that I'm fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Superman's like, I'm perfect.
Yeah. Like, the furthest you should let it go is like what Braden's doing now. Like, he has a bottle that didn't I get that for you?
Oh shit, I think you did.
Yeah. It has Guardians of the Galaxy on it. That's also like such a removed team.
It also, to me, Guardians wasn't really even the characters. I remember seeing the first one with my, the second one with my girlfriend, and I remember seeing the first one and just.
I would love if the end of this conversation goes, I actually have, and you lift up your shirt, and it's just Star-Lord's helmet as your whole chest.
You didn't know.
And I didn't know, and y'all would see me go.
No, that to me is just a little. I mean, I don't know.
But like a water bottle, that's something that you carry. That like if we were in college and I saw your water bottle, I'd be like, oh, that's fucking cool, dude.
Like, but the other thing is like I'm not even gonna front right now. I hide this from a lot of like areas of my life.
Yeah,
like I wouldn't
absolutely.
take this to like certain jobs.
No, never.
That I worked at.
No.
Like I'm
also,
aware enough to know this is nerdy as fuck.
Because I also wouldn't even want to give somebody the opportunity to start the conversation with me. About
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Yeah.
But like I'm aware enough to know that that's like I'm not gonna go around just talking about it. Like I'm not
No.
that passionate about
Like
it.
I have a Nalgene that's from that same series. That's the Daredevil one. I don't use it really outside of home.
Yeah.
Like I have it,
Yeah.
and I just don't use it. Like I don't.
I think the key is being self-aware. I think that's the biggest
Yeah.
problem. I think that's the thing that we're even making fun of.
Yeah.
Is people that aren't.
Yeah. Those guys are fucking ridiculous. You know who does that a lot is like that weird infatuation with like certain superheroes is like a
Yeah.
lot of athletes.
Mm-hmm.
Big time.
Yeah.
Lots of athletes do that. Like a lot of it's always on their gloves. They always do that thing where they'll walk up to the camera and they'll be like, and
Yeah.
it's got like a Superman logo or like a bat symbol.
Yeah.
But here's the problem. If you have a Superman logo on your gloves, but you also signed a piece of paper that gives you $30 million a year to catch balls, I'm kind of like, that might cancel out. That might like fix itself
Yeah.
to when like you put on the gloves and you're like, I'm fucking Superman. I'm like, you might be Superman. You
Yeah.
You make a lot of money to literally run in a line and go, sorry, kind of cancels out.
Yeah.
Um,
Speaking of football,
oh,
the you don't know this because we don't really watch football. We're not big football.
I care nothing about
guys.
football. Football's gay.
Yeah. So like a kind of a disaster happened. I only heard about it because I was playing video games with Grayson. Grayson was just talking about it. The national championship.
Yeah.
Guess-
I know Georgia played in it. I know
Guess-
Georgia played.
Guess what the final score was? And first off, yes, Georgia faced TCU. And a lot of people were mad because TCU is Texas Christian University.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And people were mad that TCU even really got a shot because they were like,
Is that a big school?
they're like top of their division. So like the Big
Okay.
12,
Okay.
they were like the top of their division. And but
Okay.
people were saying they're like that doesn't matter. It should be like the top X amount of teams be in the playoffs. It shouldn't matter who's the top of what division,
Right.
because you're not in the SEC where everybody lives and breathes football.
Well, let's be clear. Anytime I know enough about football to say that anytime a SEC team plays a non-SEC team, I'm very sorry, but like in this section of the U.S., they're just, I don't want to say built different, but they're just like kind of built different.
Not only
here.
that, we don't have anything else.
No, that's the thing, is that we don't have anything else to be good at.
and
like,
also
there's
like,
nothing-
like every single person shows up to high school games.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
like you're shamed if you don't.
Like, dude, have you ever seen the stadium for Trustful where I went to high school?
yeah,
at?
yeah, it's
It looks like a
amazing.
small college. It's
Yeah.
got a ticket booth out front.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like with a tower.
yeah. Yeah, so
So they played each other.
Georgia played TCU.
Okay. The
It
score?
was 65-7.
I need that video. We have to get buttons soon to make
We
noise
have to.
effects because I need that one of Sully from Monsters Inc. when it zooms in on his face and goes, 65-7.
Like they were putting in second
In case you're
strings and third
curious,
strings.
that's a lot of touchdowns to one.
Yeah.
65.
Yeah. So a lot of people were like, we really hope this
Are
shows.
you not supposed to run up the score like that? Isn't that a thing?
That's the thing. It was 65-7, I think, entering the fourth quarter.
Oh. With like their fifth string in.
No, I'm not kidding. They put like their second and third strings in to like give them like championship playing time. That's how like, yeah.
You know that they were sitting on the sidelines and they were like, fuck, we are killing these people. Put the second string in. First play out, throws a perfect pass, touchdown. They're like, put the third string in, and then whoom, running back, jukes, broken arm, elbow, shattered ankle.
You put the third string in
Touchdown.
on defense and they do a pick six.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know.
The coach is like, put the left tackle in as quarterback. He just runs it, touchdown. Like what? Like I'm sorry, everybody down here in this area of the world, like there's just like in Mississippi. Do you remember we talked about this before? But like there's that thing in Mississippi that like it's this town in Mississippi where all these players have come from that mostly played in the SEC.
Yeah.
And then they went to the
Yeah, I know
NFL.
what to say, yeah.
And they used to catch jackrabbits
Yeah.
in fields.
Yeah,
Because that's what we do here. There's nothing fucking going on. There's not a goddamn thing going on. So your options are eat cornbread, lift heavy thing,
or
and
chase
catch
fucking
rabbits. You know what the crazy thing is? They're not even catching them for survival.
No.
They catch them and then
also,
go, look at this one, and then release it and get another.
And also, these are like wild.
Yeah,
Like,
they're jackrabbits.
And if y'all don't know how hard that is, go look up. Like, that is ridiculously hard.
I could not catch a household rabbit in a pool.
Yeah. What?
Rabbits can't swim. I still couldn't catch it.
Right. Okay. I get what you're saying.
They're catching them in fields.
And jackrabbits are big. Like, they can move.
They're big. And you know what the crazy thing? The first thing that comes to my mind immediately is the lateral movement speed of a rabbit to be able to be going that way and then go, fuck you, and then run that way and then catch them.
Yeah. That's insane.
You thought you were going to win?
That's it. Yeah, exactly.
Also, I'm sorry, Texas Christian University?
Yeah. They're called the Horned Frogs.
Yeah, they are. Here's the thing. Where do we get merch for that? I'll pay however much you want for a Horned Frog shirt.
And so, like, I was talking to Grayson, your brother, actually, and I was like, okay, this is the problem. I was like, this is the problem with them thinking this. Who have they faced? He's like, oh, well, no, they beat Michigan. I was like, see, right there. I was like, who else? He's like, oh, well, that's like the best team they've beaten. I'm like, this is the problem.
How did they get to play them? Is that the new system of
I don't really know this system. I'm not going to claim the new system. I'm pretty sure it's like the best from each divisions.
Yeah.
And it might be that, and I think that's also how they rank them. So that's another problem is the way they rank them is how they get in the playoffs. And people were mad that TCU was even ranked that high. Like, I don't even think, I might be wrong on this. I don't think Alabama got to play in the playoffs.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So it's just, there's going to be some like reconsideration with that whole thing after a score like that. Be like, we don't care how good you're doing in your division, buddy. Okay. You come play a SEC team. You suck.
Yeah, that's
like, I'm not kidding. I put Ole Miss against, like, even though they're not that good, they're a hit or miss team every other year. I put Ole Miss and Mississippi State up against like
whoever
in any of the other divisions.
Yeah,
and they'll give them a run for their money.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah,
at least
being unranked as they are, I don't care.
But once again, we're not shitting on anybody here.
No,
we're just saying
we're bored down here.
That's how it goes. Like that's how the cookie crumbles here, man. Like this is my perspective from someone who appears as though I would be a football player.
Yeah.
I have been asked at every juncture of life possible.
Right.
Grocery store lines, churches.
Right.
Everywhere.
Yes.
What you play?
Who you play for?
What you play for? Play ball? You play ball? How about y'all? They don't play ball?
It's the only thing it's ever said to them.
They don't even know how to talk. Their newborn grandchild came out of the womb and don't play ball. They're like, Dad, his name is Greg. And he went, Greg, you want to play ball? That's it. That's the only thing you get asked. If you're a male over the height of 5'10",
yeah,
they're like, you play ball? Where are you going to play ball then?
Yeah.
Do you know how, this is my least favorite thing ever to happen. I'll be walking through a grocery store sometime, and a guy, usually a man, always a man, usually always between the ages of 42 and 47. I'm going to say that age range right there. So like mid 40s right there.
Got you.
Every time I go into a grocery store, they'll look at me and go, "Hey, hey man, hey."
That little laugh.
Where were you at, man? They needed you out there. And then they'll name their team.
Yeah.
They needed you out there on.
Yeah.
And I'll just shout back and go, "I'm gay." But I'll say it a lot louder than they said their thing, so that people aisles over just hear, "I'm gay" in the middle of Walmart.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they cry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, football is garbage. I hate football. It's so fucking stupid.
I just rather spend my time somewhere else.
I shouldn't say that I hate football. I am very impressed by any high level athlete's commitment to play a sport.
For sure.
I think that's very impressive.
For sure.
You wake up at 6 a.m., you go to 2-a-days, you're dying, throwing up on a field. I commend you for that 1,000%. You are top percentile of performer. You're great.
Sure.
You're awesome. I hate the reaction
and the culture
that surrounds. I have a coworker, when it is college football season, his entire mood for the week will be dictated on whether or not Alabama won or lost. For the week. And he'll even joke about it.
And it's different. It is like, it's different in the SEC. It's also different in Alabama.
Yeah.
I mean, it is just different here, man.
It's disgusting.
It's
literally gross.
Every year rolls around, and that's all the jokes. All the jokes that are told in public. All the jokes that are told between family and friends are football jokes.
You know,
all the parties are football watching parties. Everything is football.
Yeah.
For the entire, I think that's what it is. I think I'm just tired of it. I think I just grew up just constantly being just fun. Like to where I'm just like, okay, I can't. I understand every position. I understand how every position functions.
Yeah.
I understand everything. Like I'm done with it.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I could talk about it for hours. I can attend football watching parties. I can start talking and I can bullshit it really well.
Oh, I can bullshit, dude, so well.
So well.
Oh my God, so well. Sometimes I'll find a lower life form, and I'll just start what?
Just the fucking narcissism.
That's what they are. They're idiots.
Okay, right?
But I used to do it a lot at UAB because we'd be there for hours.
Right.
And it would always be like one of the hospital police that would be sitting there and they'd be like, you know, those are looking pretty good.
Yeah.
And they would say something and I would go, I'll tell you what. What are the two things
Jones knows how to play ball.
Jones? That boy can play. And they'll be like, I know he can play. And I'm like, you know what he is? He's and I'll look at him and I'll be like, and you know what? A lot of players now, they've lost this. They've lost that thing that he has.
God.
But he has this
presence.
It's this explosiveness with his plays, and they're like, yeah. And I'm like, what does your wife use to cover the bruises? That's my next question. Like, I'll just be like, does she have big sunglasses? Big ones? Real?
Because I know the team's not doing too well this year.
because what I know is that those lights inside Highlands are real bright and people can see real well. But the good thing, you know what they love? Cracker Barrel, because it's dimly lit.
Mm-hmm.
Dimly lit. Lights down. Put the lights down. Give me some cornbread. Where's the biscuits? Where are they? Why am I crab? Well, that's the only function they do. They're idiot. I just hate
No, I just can bullshit it so well because I've just heard it so much.
I can bullshit a lot of things well, but football I can.
I think
really,
I was just
really
smart enough at a young age to figure out and pay attention to what just went on game day to where I was just like, this happens we're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Like I just got tired of it quick, I think.
You know what else is funny is that football's like so popular, but there's so many other sports that you can watch that are like vastly more entertaining.
Vastly.
Like, I'm sorry, but like if you're watching football, like if you're watching football and I turned around and looked at everybody and I was like, hey, how'd y'all like to see these guys do this without the pads? And
Yeah.
they would go, fuck yeah. And I'd go, great, rugby.
Yeah.
Rugby's so fun to watch.
Yeah.
It's so cool. Any combat sport
Yeah.
is vastly more exciting because they're punching each other.
Yeah. Muay Thai.
Jiu-jitsu.
MMA.
I started watching jiu-jitsu
Jiu-jitsu's
competitions.
amazing.
Dude, it's so cool.
Yeah.
Like they're like doing all this technical stuff. The announcers are like, "Oh, he's got him in a Kiki Fahara," and you're like, "What's a fucking Kiki Fahara?" Like you're like learning all this.
Yeah.
Like, this is great. You're
Yeah.
like, this is fantastic. Or we could watch these fucking idiots bash their heads against each other.
Yeah.
Trying. You get 4 tries to go 10 yards.
You know what it is? I think it's one of the only games you can keep up with drunk.
If you're an idiot.
No, drunk.
Oh yeah, that too.
Because you can't watch MMA drunk.
That's true.
Actually, you can. You can watch combat sports drunk. You can watch jiu-jitsu drunk.
No.
You see what I'm saying? Like you can see when somebody hits the mat.
Yeah.
You can't see when somebody's gotten them in the Kakara hold.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's like, I don't know what's going on, but he's running towards the end zone.
Yeah. Yeah.
it's-
Football is. Do you know what my favorite thing to do is when I'm watching, like when I'm at one of those parties or I'm like watching a game?
Yeah.
Is I'm carrying a conversation with somebody.
Yeah.
And there's something going on the TV. And then when they get the ball and they start running it, and everyone goes, there he goes, there he goes. I will stop the conversation rapidly and go, ah! And just scream at the TV. And then everybody will go, ah! And I'm like, ah! I'm just screaming. And then I'll go, ah! But what I was saying, and then I'll just carry the conversation and be like, sorry, just for a second, my caveman instinct took
Yeah.
over.
No, like almost like to make fun of it.
Yeah, literally.
like
Yeah.
everybody starts going crazy, and you're just having this conversation just
Yeah.
like this, and
You're
you're
like,
just like, "Ah!" And then you just go back to normal.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's honestly everything about football too. Like the progressively worse and worse. Like with the NFL, like halftime shows
Yeah,
are always a big deal. They've progressively gotten like every year. They're just more like, what the fuck was that?
I will have to say, I will have to challenge you on that. The most recent one was pretty cool.
Which one was that?
Snoop Dogg came out.
Oh,
Dr.
I
Dre
remember
came
that
out. Eminem came out. 50 Cent came out. 50 Cent did his like iconic like upside down thing.
That's pretty cool.
That was cool. And then the only other one that I loved was Prince's. I don't know when he did his, but he did Purple Rain. They had to have somehow planned this.
Yeah.
When he played Purple Rain, it started raining like in the area.
Oh wow.
And it was like poetically perfect.
I think Prince just controls the weather.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The only show that I say that I've ever like seen that I was like, whoa, is someone who's kind of just a different version of Prince is Bruno Mars.
Yeah.
Bruno Mars's halftime show
Yeah.
was
His was good.
insane.
Yeah.
It was wild. He had the one that I saw, I don't even know how the fuck you do this, but he was riding a horse across the field, sitting side saddle, singing Runaway Baby. And I was like, who is this magic little motherfucker? Like, what is going on here? Yeah, Prince puts on a good shit. Nobody does that, right?
It literally is just the only ones that in recent performances that I can think of is what you just said. Bruno Mars and that other dude that they just teamed up for a while. Anderson .Paak. Yeah. Is it Pac or Pack?
I can't remember.
Whatever.
But did they create? Is that what Silk Sonic?
Yeah.
Dude, all those songs are so fucking good.
Yeah.
Have you seen the video of Bruno Mars and it's him and Anderson .Paak and they're like singing and whatever, and he walks out into the crowd and he starts singing to this one girl. He just sings like to this one girl in the front row. She stands up and he grabs her hand and he puts it against his chest and he's just looking at her and singing. Dude, she's like got her hand on and she's just like she's like about to pass out.
She's seizing.
And you're like, Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
That's about it.
I feel like they also I felt like just were like, fuck it, let's just make a like I feel like that was like in their
Yeah.
careers they're just like, okay, we're tired of this shit. Let's just
Yeah.
take over.
Because also what's funny too is that anytime someone's like, oh, let's do something new, they just do something old and bring it back into like with a more
Yeah.
because that type of music,
Is almost timeless.
yeah, like
Yeah.
it's like that. They're just like slow snapping and the
And that is weird that you say that because there's two examples that I can think of right now. And it's weird because both of these people, this is really weird that you said this. Childish Gambino.
yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
Love
Do
him.
you know that Redbone, that whole Redbone album, do you know that came from what I was just talking about? Everybody was talking about how he was like, oh, well, I mean, you're really an actor. Like he says in an interview, he's like, I just had people telling me, oh, well, you're really just an actor trying to like be like a music artist. Like you can't really do this. Like just kind of like, I mean, your stuff's good, but I mean, you're more of an actor. And he's like, when I kept hearing that, he was like, I took that as like, oh, you want like, okay, bet. Like
Yeah.
that's how he took that. And he's like, that's why I made Redbone, that
He's also
Redbone album.
massively talented.
What is that album called?
I can't remember.
You know what I'm talking about though,
Yeah,
right?
I know what you're talking about.
Same thing with Tyler the Creator. When he made Igor,
Yeah,
that was like a bunch of like had a bunch of old music inspiration. Same thing. People weren't taking me seriously. He was like, I had to make something that I was like, okay, listen, y'all have to shut the fuck up. Some of the best work comes from like that, like,
yeah. That like fuck
y'all
you.
need to shut the fuck up. I
Yeah.
know what I'm doing.
I know that this is such like a played out question, like big time played out question, but realistically, if you could go back and see someone perform in concert, who would you pick? My mind immediately goes Michael Jackson.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Just because the amount of people that I have heard
Yeah.
say that like the show that he put on, like it was palpable. Like the room was just like
Everything I've ever seen of Michael Jackson, like every interview and stuff,
yeah.
I felt like he was talking about performing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
don't think I've ever seen any artist.
And if you
that
saw
was
him
so focused
outside
on
of that, it was weird. It was like a weird interview and it was
Yeah.
awkward.
Like he was always talking about performing.
Yeah. It's like until his foot hit that stage, then he was like, I got this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I say Michael Jackson.
He's also one of the only people I've seen, like, you know, a lot of people like interact with fans that like get up on stage, like, and
Yeah.
they like kick them off. He always like scoops them up and like
he
dances
grabs
with them.
and I'm like, the fuck are you
And like
doing,
just
bro?
makes it part of his show and like gives them like the experience of a lifetime. But like
Yeah.
a lot of times when fans get on stages, somebody's just like, get this motherfucker, and then just you tackle them.
I saw one the other day. I don't know who it was. It was a rapper. Some kid got on stage and took out his phone and went like that with the rapper in the background, and then he died because a full-grown man. Braden, you know what else is crazy is that for some odd reason the guard had no recognition for his own life.
Like,
He
just-
tackled him
just-
off the stage. Just went whoo, and off the stage. And I was like, where did you just go?
Yeah.
Also, like, you busted your face open.
Yeah.
He might have.
He might have died.
Yeah. Give him a raise.
I don't get that.
Nah.
I think
that's
somebody
crazy.
else probably would be Prince. I would love to have seen Prince.
I would say
in concert.
Prince would be cool. The Beatles. I feel
That
like
would
the
be
Beatles
cool.
in their prime would be cool. I'm not like a big, massive Beatles fan. I do think they were
Marley
good.
would love to see the Beatles in
Yeah.
concert.
I also think it'd be really cool. This sounds like a you answer, but I would love to just sit there while Hendrix goes on like a long guitar
Oh,
riff.
fuck yeah.
Yeah, Hendrix would be a good
Fuck
one.
yeah. Oh, what's Led Zeppelin?
Yeah.
That'd be a
So
good
I
one.
was about
That
to say
rock
I was
era?
about to say prime era AC/DC.
Yeah, that rock era
Yeah.
is something different.
Like, dude, I'm sorry. I know that there's a lot of hype on stage. I'm sure there's a lot of hype on stage when Taylor Swift walks out And she's like, I broke up with him. And everybody's like, Taylor. You know, I'm sure that there's a lot of hype behind that. I guarantee you.
You're the jungle, baby.
Yeah.
When you hear that, is that AC/DC?
That's Welcome to the Jungle. That's AC/DC.
I'm just that whole era.
Any of the
where for some reason we're all wearing
Def
wigs.
Leppard, Led Zeppelin, Kiss, AC/DC.
Yeah, we're all wearing wigs. We're all sounding
era.
like we're aliens. I loved that shit.
Yeah, I remember there was one video that I saw. It was AC/DC, and I remember the only reason I watched it is because it's like that's such a weird way to say it, but it said AC/DC, and then it said slash Iron Man slash Avengers, and I was like, huh? I was like, what the fuck is this? And I clicked on it, and do you remember when Iron Man flies in Avengers? And he hijacks the PA system on the Quinjet.
Oh, yeah.
And it goes, no. That, they came out on stage to that song, and they had a curtain up over the entire stage, like wrapped around the whole stage. And it was some sort of like flammable like show paper. And right as it goes, thunderstruck, they all went, and he shot flames out of his guitar, and it caught it on fire, and it went, and the whole thing went up in flames.
Good God.
And then they were playing, and I was like, I would lose my fucking mind.
Yeah.
Also, you know what the cool thing was about that area is that no one was recording it and then putting it on YouTube.
Yeah.
So that and then every time you went to the show, because they did it in New York, and then they did it in fucking, I don't know, Ohio.
And you would tell your friends about it.
And you would tell your friends, and they'd be like, dude, just wait till you see it.
Yeah,
and
they'd be like, no. There'd also probably be like doubt. Like, it wasn't fucking like
wasn't that crazy.
Yeah.
And then they do it, and you're
like, oh my God.
Fuck. But I mean, now we have Doja Cat, so it's fine. I mean, who, you know.
I mean, now I just feel like the performances
it's
are
all
just so
changed.
routine.
It's changed.
It's very changed now.
I will say there's some like weird shit. Did you see when everybody was really mad about Lizzo playing the flute? Do you remember this?
They're mad about it?
Lizzo played who's that dead guy that was president? A lot of them. James Madison. I don't know why I remember that, but James Madison had a crystal flute.
Okay.
Because he's a fucking nerd, I guess. I don't know.
All right.
And Lizzo was allowed to play the crystal flute.
Like the actual
crystal flute. And everybody was pissed. They were like, why would
I'm not pissed, but why does Lizzo...
Cares? Apparently she has a big thing with playing the flute. Like, she played the flute in band in high school. She played it in concert in college. Like, she's a very good flute player. Like, she's actually talented.
If it's some kind of sacred flute, I feel like some kind of elite flutist should be playing it.
Well, here's my thing. If she had come out on stage, grabbed it, and shattered it on the ground, I would have gone, you fucking dorks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who cares? You shut up.
Yeah.
It's a flute from a dude.
That is weird to be outraged about that.
Shit.
No.
I don't have any attachment to any form of like, can you imagine if right now we got like a Twitter notification and it was like the Declaration of Independence has been set on fire?
Yeah.
I would be like, did we get pictures of it?
Yeah.
And they would go, well, yeah, but and I'd go, yeah. I don't care.
Yeah.
That must sound so anti-American and like that. It's just that it's a fucking, I mean, what?
I love that bit. If you brought somebody back here from that time, they'd be like, you didn't write any new shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Who says that?
I think it's Rogan. I think Joe Rogan says that.
Well, and also, have you seen the like when they made that? How much alcohol they consumed?
Yeah.
Between like 18 people,
I looked
it's
up
like
something the other day.
Kegs.
It was about the amendments. Do you know that when the amendments were written, it was still common to practice swordplay in war? Are you fucking kidding me, man? Are you fucking kidding me? those things that everybody treats as though they're the holy grail, when those were being written somewhere in a field in Virginia, there was a guy going, okay, so this is called a Perry. And I was,
Yeah.
what are we doing?
What are we doing?
Fucking. Do you know that if somebody took the amendments and threw them in a trash can and then retyped them onto a Microsoft Word document and printed them out, I'd care about it not at all.
I'd probably respect it more.
Probably. I would love
Because
if
you
they
took the time to like type it out.
I would love if they put it in like a Target frame. Like it's just like in a black frame and they're like, those are the amendments. And they're like, those aren't the original. I'd be like, but those are the amendments.
Yeah.
That's how words go.
And it's also weird that like you can't do that and put it in a classroom. You have to put it in the ornate like
Yeah.
you have to buy
like,
it like look to where it looks like
I'm telling
that.
you right now, once we redecorate, we should just type out the Declaration of Independence like onto white paper and be like, it's just in Helvetica and it's like, we the people.
Can't even read it.
Yeah, you can't even. It's just we the people. And it's just typed. It's like, what is that? The Declaration of
It's just
Independence.
one sheet.
It's a 9x11. It's this big.
That's good.
And it's just typed. It's like, what
That's
is that? It's
good.
the Declaration of Independence. And guess what? It carries just as much weight as the original.
It does.
Because in the end of the day, it's a fucking piece of paper
Yep.
with words
And nothing matters.
that some old fuck wrote.
Yeah.
And nothing matters. That's
Well, hey
important to remember,
guys.
kids.
Hey guys. We're trying to remodel, but we're also trying to decide whether or not to keep doing the podcast.
Yeah.
Keep doing it as long as we can.
Yeah, we wanna try and keep giving y'all good stuff. The only problem is that my Venmo is looking real empty.
Yeah.
So,
So we'll keep doing it as long as we can. Keep listening.
We'll keep doing it as long as we can. And for the 100th episode, we have a big surprise for you guys when it gets to that. For the 100th episode, me and Braden are going to shoot each other live on air. Thanks for watching.
See you next time.